Hello and welcome to MMP Training. Today we're going to install Docker, Docker Compose, and then MMP 160. This is a Red Hat server, so we're going to start on the MMP prerequisite installation page that deals with Red Hat. But even with Ubuntu, it's very, very similar. So these steps, besides the specific commands, will be exactly the same. So let's go ahead and SSH into our MMP server here. Today we'll be using the Red Hat server 10.36.1.59. If we ls, we already have the MMP installation file here instead of using SCP to move that over. So if you need help with SCP, I would suggest that you speak with us later or consult with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is a great tool, or some other AI resource that will help you with the basic commands to get this done. So again, Mimosa MMP 160 is already here and is an installation file. So we'll start with installing Docker and then Docker Compose. So we'll just be taking the command straight from the web page here. So we're going to start with step number 4, sudo dnf update-y. We're going to put our password here, Mimosa. It's doing its stuff. It says, hey, it's all good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to enable the Docker Compose or Docker CE package repository. It's added, so great. We can do the, whoops, I almost miscopied that. Verify it's all good. Verifying, okay, it's great. Then we're going to run the install Docker command. So we're just going to copy and paste that here. It's installing the correct version of Docker, and you can see this fancy installation bar that's going here, and it's doing its test on the installation file. It's installing its stuff. While it's doing that, we're going to go ahead and get the sudo service docker start command here ready for us as soon as we come back. The next one is to start Docker on boot, which is very important. So we'll do that. And then you can confirm the version of Docker that's installed. Make sure it's installed. Oh, whoops, I forgot an S there, guys. See? Gotta make sure your commands are correct before you do anything. So it's installed 2010-21. Excellent. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to install Docker Compose. Oh, I almost missed the S again there, y'all. And copy and paste that in. Installed. We're going to make this an executable file. Again, that command is right here on the page. It's all good. And the final check is to check and see what version we're running here. So 129.2, so perfect. So we have gone through the pre-installation steps for Red Hat. So we'll go ahead and move to the installation instructions. Not that I will be using those, but these installation instructions are valid. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to create the installation file. So if you just transferred that to the server, chmod plus x, and then the file name, and then once you do that, you can do / Mimosa MMP install file. Hit enter, and it's going to run. It's going to verify the integrity. It's going to ask you to install. You're going to say yes. It's going to install the file, and then once you do that, then we have to set up the MMP comp file. So while it's going through this process, it's going to take a few minutes. This is the longest part of the whole process, in my opinion, and probably not an opinion, it's probably a fact, but it is what it is. So let's go through and do this. There are times during this process where things will fail. Rarely, but they do. It could be a process fail. It could be something with Docker or Docker Compose, but as long as you follow the steps that have been highlighted on the installation pages and the servers are set up correctly with the minimum server requirements, it should work fine. So while this is installing real quick, server requirements are Ubuntu 8.0.4.6 or 20.04 or 22.04. And then for Red Hat, it's Red Hat 8.4 or 8.9. And then Docker requirements 20.10.21, and Docker Compose is 129.2. And the biggest part here is the minimum hardware requirements. Intel or AMD based server, but a minimum of 12 cores and 64 gigs of RAM. And then for larger networks, 16 core and 64 gigs of RAM, which I'm sure the MMP team can elaborate on here later. And then, of course, a minimum of 500 gigabit SD or SSD space available. So I said gigabyte. 500 gigabytes free SSD. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Are we done yet? Oh, it's still loading here, but it's almost done. So we'll just give this another minute here. I'll go back to the installation instructions page as we're running through this. But again, it has basic commands here to run through the installation. It has an example configuration file, which you'll see here in just a minute. We'll fill that in, and then MMP will start and we'll log in and take a look at that. Still loading. Feel free to play the Jeopardy theme song in your head if you want, or whatever the noise, the music they play during waiting for people to come up with their answers. But anyway, I try to keep the installation, all these pages updated. So if you find any issues with it, we also have a Confluence page that has updated installation instructions as well, which I think that the cloud team will show you or kind of walk you through at some point. If you don't have access to Confluence, then that's something else that we'll have to work on. And still waiting, and it's done. Perfect. So MMP is started. So the next thing we need to do is we have to change our directory to get to the MMP conf file, and we have to set that up. So cd/op/mimosa/mmp/conf. We can ls, make sure the MMP conf file is here, so we can do sudo, make sure you do sudo nano mmp.conf file. It's going to bring up your conf file here. So let's make this a little bigger here. So there's a few things here we have to fill out. So the first thing is the admin account name. This is the username or the email address you're going to use to sign in to MMP. For this exercise, we're going to be MMP admin. That's the username to log in. The gateway host, IP address of the server, 10.36.1.59. And then we do that same thing again on SNMS host. Then we're going to go, this is optional, we're going to leave the mail server information blank. The maps key, this is what, this will be unique to every MMP server. This is, you get this through Google Maps, so you can have a dashboard map. I'm stealing one of our keys, and I would appreciate if you don't steal this and use it on somebody else's server. This is an internal map key. We'll just put in an ID of not applicable. SFTP username, you have to fill this in. So for us, we just do Mimosa 123 or whatever you want, but it has to be filled in. And then we scroll down here. We have cluster size and the other options here, which we have to remove the spaces and the comment, add 1, or whatever option you need there for basic installation. It's 1. And then remove our comment here. And then hopefully we can talk more about what this means and why it is set up the way it is here in a bit. So we're going to save. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Yes. All right, so MMP conf is done. You can confirm it's done. You can just run the same command again, and you can see all the information we added is there. So all good. So the next thing we have to do, CD, we're going to go to MMP. We need to go to the bin folder to get to MMP CTL. So now that we're here, CD, bin, and then you see MMP CTL. So what we're going to do, MMP CTL update, and this will update with the conf file that you just added the information to. So cross your fingers, it all goes well. Everything should be okay, but it's going to update It's going to start services here. This can take a bit of time as well, so just make sure you're patient, just hang tight. Make sure your customers, if you're walking them through with this, you know that they're hanging tight. They're not wondering what's going on. This could take multiple minutes. So another place to play the Jeopardy song, or to get up and get a coffee, tea, bathroom break. Oh, look at this. Here we go. Services are coming up. And they're still coming up. And while those are coming up, so once the server comes up, you log in with the account information you created. So MMP admin, password default, capital M, Mimosa Networks 123 period. And then you'll see the dashboard screen. The map will load after a bit once you first start the MMP server. And then you can start adding devices to MMP. So you log into your Mimosa radios, 5 series, 6 series products. You go to the NMS page, you put in the IP or the server address, and then the radios will start associating with MMP and start populating. All right, let's see here. Are we done? No, we're still stuck here. And processes don't start after a while. You could potentially uh, redo the command after stopping it. You might need to restart the server. Usually you don't have to do that, but it is one way to try and get this to work. So we'll give it another couple of minutes here. There it goes. Patience, young grasshoppers. Don't take a nap. It should be done here soon, y'all. And Alakazam? No? Open Sesame? Sorry, guys. I am unfortunately impatient when it comes to this, so there goes one. I just have to complain, and a service starts. There we go. Here they come. And it started successfully. So what that means is that once that starts successfully, we should be able to get to the UI. So we'll go to 10.36.159, and look at that. MMP is up. MMP admin, password Mimosa Networks 123 period. Yes, I accept the terms. And here it is. So everything is up and running great. Now, let's move on to other things.